is a resident stand-up comedian.
Have your attention, please. Let's listen up for just a minute. Thank you. This is worth great.
No pressure. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Gordon. Before I start, let's all give a round of applause to Stephanie. And everybody who has helped her put this event on tonight. It's been a lot of work. They've done an outstanding job. Now, a lot of you know Stephanie, but if you don't know Stephanie, in addition to her talent for putting on events like this, and also as a musician, she's also a very talented baker. She makes works of art. How many of you have seen the show, the Netflix show, Nailed It? Anybody? Yeah, okay. It's a baking contest. Now the show has a French master pastry chef named Jacques. And Jacques comes up with these elaborate creations, and the challenge is for the 3 bakers on the show to come as close as they can to what he created. It's always hilarious. You should watch it. Anyway, Stephanie has applied to be on this show several times, and she keeps getting turned down. Because the producers know exactly what's going to happen. The buzzer will sound, the judges will assemble at Stephanie's area. Stephanie will unveil her work and yell, "Nailed it!" And instantly, all eyes will be on Jacques, who for the first time in his life will have to defend his work. I almost do it as good as she did. So anyway, if Stephanie ever gets on that show, Jacques is going to have to tender his resignation. As Gordon pointed out, I do stand-up comedy. I just started that. As he said, I was encouraged by a few friends to try it, so I did. So I've been doing it for about a year. I've done it at 3 different clubs. You can find me most often at Side Splitters. And it's stand-up open mic night. And I've learned a few things. I'm still learning, but I've learned a few things. And one of the things that I've learned is you want to get up as early in the evening as possible. Because what happens is, as the evening goes on, the audience leaves. And all that's left are the comics. Have you ever tried to deliver a joke to a comic? I've been up so late that the crickets have gone home. Do you know what it's like to have a joke bomb and you don't even get to hear crickets? I start looking around the stage for my body. I guess I collapsed. I gotta be around here somewhere. Taking my last breath in shame. Anyway, enough of that. We're going somewhere this year. Somewhere north. Starts with an M. Macy's. Macy's. Are we ready? Auxiliary? You got your keys memorized? Yeah. Musicians, you got your music memorized? Yeah. Are we all good with 6 to 5 at 1:36? Absolutely. And are you comfortable using your Depends in public? It's easy, really, just take some practice. Now, I think a lot of us in this room today have one thing in common, and that is we all love marching for the second time around as marching band, right? And all of the uniforms, and the marching in step, and the music, and the batons, and the pom-poms, and the flags, and the letters, and the rifles, all of that comes together to do one thing. And that's to create a feeling in our audience. And I think the feeling that we most often create, and I think we can all agree on this, is one of, wow, I'm old. But I'm not that old. A woman chasing after the band down the street. Wait, one of the band members dropped his teeth. Meanwhile, the musician's looking all over the street. I lost my chops. The rest of the musicians in his section are like, yeah, you never had them. Anyway, I wasn't with the band when it went to Macy's last time. I've only been in this my 6th season of the band, and I have never seen the band this big. The band is huge this year. As a matter of fact, this band is so big.
How big is it?
This band is so big that when you stand in the center where I stand with the saxophones, you cannot see either end. And the reason for that is the curvature of the earth. This band is so big that at Macy's, the front of the band will be standing in line waiting for the doors to open at Saturday Night Live, while the back of the band finishes the parade. But having a band this big has solved one problem: letters. Since I've been in the band, we've always struggled to have enough letters. And we often don't have enough letters, so we end up having to abbreviate. It's like we're texting out the name of the band. 2T, round, MB, LOL. This year, we got more letters than Scrabble. We can spell the whole thing out. The awesome, original, second time around, marching band. Upgrader, St. Petersburg, Florida. Bill Van Dyson, director. Barbara Kegley Beck, president. LOL. We'll be marching past other bands going, that's 380 points right there. LOL's not a word. Yes, it is. Look it up. So anyway, how many of you watched the video of us in the Chasco parade? I know I watched it because I wanted to see me. And I know you watched it for the same reason. To be honest, you watched it for the same reason.
To see you.
Right? You want to see me, right? So anyway, I'm watching that, and the first thing I see is the banner. Looks good, nice and straight. And after that, we have the honor guard, and they look good, they're sharp. And right after that, we have the majorettes, looking good. Those ladies are twirling. And twirling. The Energizer Bunny walks by. He falls over dead. Still twirling. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, now eventually I'm going to see a marching band somewhere in his marching band. So anyway, oh, there it is. I think I see something. They look like pom-poms. Yes, pom-poms. The rounderettes. Yes, I can't say anything bad about the rounderettes. My wife is a rounderette. If I say something bad when I get home, the locks will be changed again. So the rounderettes, and I know the band follows the rounderettes. The rounderettes, there it is. And rifles. Did you know we had rifles?
Yeah.
When did we get rifles? That's a lot of rifles. They look good. Anyway, maybe after the rifles, the band? Yes, I see Lee. I know the band follows Lee. Here comes the band. First line, clarinets. Mommy, what's wrong with that lady's clarinet? Oh, honey, that's an oboe. She plays the oboe. They're very rare. They're almost extinct. Anyway, first line, clarinets and oboe. After that, we had the trombones. And then the trumpets and assorted horns that resemble trumpets that I think were I'm pretty convinced were designed by Dr. Seuss or Cheech and Chong. Hey, man, you want to take a hit off my mellow phone? Wow. After that, the saxophones, yay, B! Then the drum line, Bill marches in line with the drum line. After that, we have the sousaphones. We have the rest of the clarinets, the flutes, the piccolos, the flags. Yeah. We have the flags. We have the letters. We have the band-aids. And a whole line of women who want to join the band as majorettes. Because we need more. Anyway, this year in particular, I think a lot of people were new to the band. And even if you haven't, have you been in the band for a while, you may not know everybody. And I thought it might be helpful if I introduce you to a few of the band members. I'm gonna warn you, I'm using names, real names when I do this bit. So, if I use your name, just means that I really respect you, and I mean that honestly. Now, a lot of people in this band, so if I don't use your name, all that means is, I don't know. Yeah, I don't respect you. So take away from that. So anyway, hi, I'm Roger, and I play a brass instrument. Now I start by pursing my lips tightly together, and I force air through those tightly pursed lips, and that creates sound energy in the form of a buzzing sound. I inject that sound energy into my instrument through a metal mouthpiece, and it travels through a precise length of coiled metal tubing and exits at the instrument's bell, and you hear that as a note. Now I can change the length of this tubing through a series of valves, or trombone through the slide. And by changing the length, I can change the pitch, and you hear that as different musical notes. And through a combination of how tightly I purse my lips and changing the length of the instrument, I can produce every note that instrument is capable of. I'm also the associate band. Hi, I'm Cindy, and I play a reed instrument. Now I start by shaping a column of air in the back of my throat, and I force that air over a reed and cause it to vibrate, and this creates sound energy. That sound energy goes into my instrument. My instrument stays fixed in length, so I produce different notes by opening and closing various tone holes that have been drilled in strategic locations on my instruments. And by opening and closing tone holes, sometimes changing levers and causing the instrument to go up and down an octave, and also changing my embouchure, I can make that instrument produce every note it's capable of. I also like to polish my instrument between songs. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm a percussionist. Now, as a percussionist, I bang on stuff. Drums, cymbals, blocks, bells, you name it, I bang on it. Actually, it's a little more complicated than that. Sometimes I shake stuff. Actually, I used to play the flute. I used to play the flute, but then I decided I wanted to do something with my life. So I traded in my flute for a couple of sticks, and now I'm a percussionist. But it's just a stepping stone. It is just a stepping stone. Pretty soon, they're going to come along, and they're going to take away my sticks, except for one. And that'll be the director. Hi, I'm Bill. And I've had the distinct pleasure of being the director of this band for all 37 years of its existence. And I tell the band, we are a marching band. If you have to make a choice between looking good and playing your instrument, always choose style. Style is the most important thing in music. Is it a beautiful melodic piece to be played in a long legato style? Or is it a short, stately, played in a staccato style? Or is it a swing piece played in a 2/3, 1/3 rhythmic pattern? Style is the most important thing in music. That intonation. Intonation is the most important thing in music. We tune the note to one, or tune the band to one note. It's up to you individual musicians to play all the rest of the notes in tune. Hear the note before you play it. Sing the note before you play it. And please pay attention to the key signatures. If the rest of the band, I guarantee you at Macy's, if the rest of the band is playing a B flat and you're playing a B natural, 50 million viewers and their dogs are going to hear that. And 4 of those dogs will commit suicide rather than listen to that. So intonation is the most important thing in music. That and balance. Balance is the most important thing in music. The band is made up of several sections. It's important that the audience hear a proper balance between all of those sections. You can't have one section overpowering the rest of everything. For instance, we can't have the trumpet section overpowering the Falcon Heavy rocket launch that's happening 150 miles away on the other side of the state. The audience over there would like to hear the rocket. Balance is the most important thing in music. That and dynamics. Dynamics are the most important thing in music. You don't just read the notes. You have to read above and below the notes. Is it a crescendo? Is it a decrescendo? Is it forsando? He didn't get off of it. Dynamics are what make the music musical. So dynamics are the most important thing in music. Ladies and gentlemen, some of our band members and our director. As Bill pointed out, dynamics are very important in music. That's oftentimes what makes the piece musical. And I thought, especially if you're not a musician, it might be helpful if I gave a few examples. The dynamics that we see, and how you can tell when we're playing those dynamics. So one of the dynamics that we see a lot is double F, fortissimo, with lots of force. So you can tell when we play that dynamic, because we will play that as loud as we can. On the other end of that spectrum is piano, quiet, soft. You can tell when we're playing that dynamic, because we will play that as loud as we can. And sometimes we'll see subito, sudden, subito piece, suddenly soften. And you know when we're playing that, because we'll be playing along, and then suddenly we'll play as loud as we can. Thank you. My name is Brett Hudson.